Stocks surged to record highs, although we're not sure why. A Muslim religious leader wants Israel to build the third temple, and a new dwarf planet is discovered out beyond Neptune. This is SkyWatch TV for Tuesday, July 12th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. First, two court bailiffs and their shooter are dead after gunfire yesterday at a courthouse in Michigan. An inmate reportedly grabbed a gun from a deputy at the Berrien County Courthouse in St. Joseph, Michigan. The inmate, Larry Darnell Gordon, killed two bailiffs and wounded a deputy, tried to take hostages, and was fatally shot by other bailiffs when he tried to run. And in Washington, D.C., 5 people have been arrested for allegedly shooting at officers there early Tuesday. If there's any good news from this story, it's that no one was hurt and that the 3 women and 2 men taken into custody were trying to avoid arrest and that this was not part of a targeted attack on police. Dallas Police Chief David Brown held a rather frank and honest press conference in the wake of the shooting deaths of 5 Dallas police officers last Thursday. Kind of broke the official progressive media narrative, said that young black men should actually do something instead of protesting, and added as a suggestion that the Dallas Police Department is hiring. And in another bit of narrative breaker, a recent study from Harvard shows no racial bias in the use of lethal force by American police. Now, there is some difference, the study found, in how blacks and whites are treated by police. For example, black men and women are more likely to be touched, pushed to the ground, handcuffed, or pepper sprayed than white suspects. But the study by an African-American researcher found no racial bias at all when it comes to the most lethal form of force, the use of a gun. Now, it may be tacky to put it this way, but this is, I think, an accurate analysis of this story. Military robotics manufacturers see last Thursday's tragedy in Dallas as good for business. The Dallas police, for the first time in American history, used a bomb disposal robot to carry a bomb to the suspect and detonate it, essentially a wingless drone. Heather Roth, senior research fellow at Arizona State University's Global Security Project, says the use of increasingly inexpensive robotics, thanks to military research, to compel compliance on the part of suspects without police having to talk to them, may lead police to make more forceful or coercive demands of suspects in the future. In other words, we don't need to talk to you because we can just blow you up with a drone. More evidence has emerged that bankers and organized crime, but I repeat myself, are actually running the show. Republicans on the U.S. House Committee of Financial Services just released a report showing that U.S. officials refused to prosecute the big British bank HSBC 4 years ago because the Justice Department decided it might cause a global financial disaster. Now, HSBC was accused by the U.S. government of letting drug cartels launder money at U.S. banks. The bank paid a $1.9 billion fine, but the bank and its officers faced no criminal charges, and it didn't lose its charter to do business in the U.S. Now, a story that didn't get enough attention when it broke in 2009. A United Nations advisor on drugs and crime said that he had evidence in hand that organized crime proceeds were the only liquid capital available to some banks on the verge of collapse during the financial meltdown in 2008. In other words, money from the drug cartels was the only thing that kept some of the large international banks afloat in 2008. And the U.S. government has turned a blind eye to that illegal activity because it would be bad for business. And on that note, we report that the Dow Jones jumped to record highs after the open today, Tuesday, soaring over 1,300 points in 2 weeks after the brief drop following the Brexit vote in Great Britain. Just remember, the Dow has little basis in reality. And here's another data point that confirms what we know in our gut, but what progressives continue to ignore. Compelling businesses to pay an artificially high minimum wage leads to higher unemployment. The jobless rate for black male teens aged 16 to 19 jumped to 40.1% in June. That's up from 28.1% in May. That's the largest monthly increase in unemployment in that age group ever. What could have caused it? Well, on July 1st, 14 U.S. cities, states, and counties, plus the District of Columbia, raised the minimum wage. Among other places in the county, these increases took effect in the states of Maryland and Oregon, Los Angeles County, California, and the cities of Chicago and Washington, D.C. UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, voting on whether the Temple Mount is actually Jewish. Of course, the Temple Mount is the site of Solomon's Temple, the second temple that was rebuilt and expanded by Herod the Great. But the UN's organization, UNESCO, will vote on it as part of its 40th annual meeting going on now in Istanbul. The UN draft, a joint effort of Jordan and the Palestinian Authority, calls for a return to the historic status quo, presumably meaning pre-1967, when non-Muslims were barred from visiting the Temple Mount. But one prominent Muslim teacher not only welcomes the idea of Jews on the Temple Mount, he says he looks forward to the construction of the third temple. Adnan Akhtar, who sometimes goes by the name Harun Yahya, by no means represents the mainstream of Sunni Islam, Sunni Islamic thought, hosts a popular television show on Turkey's A9 television channel, surrounds himself with very pretty and very shapely young women. Again, not typical Muslim. Welcomed a delegation of rabbis and Israeli politicians to Istanbul on June 22nd. Akhtar promotes a peaceful form of Islam, something analysts say that we in the West should be encouraging. Akhtar reportedly told the group that the days when Solomon's temple would be rebuilt in an atmosphere of global peace and tranquility are at hand. If only. Non-government organizations operating in Israel will have to disclose their foreign sources of funding from now on. The Knesset passed a law that will require human rights groups that receive more than half their funding from outside Israel to tell the government. The bill has been criticized, especially by people overseas, outside Israel. But let's be honest, some of the NGOs that operate in the name of us Americans, such as USAID, the National Endowment for Democracy, International Republican Institute, and so on, are kind of funded under the table by the United States government for the purpose of carrying out American foreign policy. Shell organizations purporting to support human rights while in effect working to support the U.S. Department of State. There's no reason to believe that other countries aren't doing exactly the same thing. United Nations Tribunal has ruled that China has no legal claim to most of the South China Sea. China has said that the UN has no authority in this matter and declared the ruling null and void. The UN Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague does not, in fact, have any enforcement mechanism, and so China has no intention of abiding by this ruling. Now, here's an odd story. The new Nintendo game, Pokemon Go, has become so popular that it is actually more popular than porn, or at least when you compare search terms on Google. I mean, imagine that, being the guy who invented something more popular than porn. But that's not necessarily a good thing, because players, in order to succeed at this game, have to travel to real-world locations, destinations to stock up on Pokeballs and eggs and potions to gain points or whatever. But criminals are using the game to lure victims into armed robberies. 4 last week in St. Louis alone, several more in Philadelphia. Looks like a fun game, but be aware of your surroundings if you're going to play. Astronomers have found a new dwarf planet out beyond Neptune. Its official title, 2015 RR245. Not a very exciting name. 120 times farther from the sun than Earth. Supposed to be the 18th largest body in the Kuiper Belt. I suggested, in honor of Into the Multiverse, we start a campaign to name it Planet Josh. What do you think? And in another blow to the official histories, petroglyphs found across North America indicate that ancient Chinese explorers made contact with Native Americans. A professor from East China Normal University who studied the petroglyphs as a visiting scholar at Harvard says he supports the conclusion that these petroglyphs are of Chinese origin. This one here, found in Arizona, says means set apart for 10 years together, declaring to return, the journey completed to the house of the Son, the journey completed together. Well, we look at odd stuff like that. That's why we call SkyWatch TV investigations into prophecy, discoveries, and the supernatural. And you can read about those every single month with the new SkyWatch TV magazine. In fact, I'd hold one up here because we just got our hard copies, except we're packing them up to take them to the Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference. But every month, essentially an anthology of out-of-the-box thinkers and scholars delivered to your door. We'll tell you how you can take advantage still of that 5-year for the price of 3 deal at the end of this program. This week on SkyWatch TV, we talk politics and preparedness. Gary Haven, who is knowledgeable on both subjects, writer, producer of the film Amerigeddon, joined us to talk about the very interesting political season that we're in here in the United States, and reminds us that preparedness for whatever may come begins with accepting Jesus Christ as Lord. You'll see that program 4 different places tonight: the Victory Television Network, WGGN-TV in Sandusky, Ohio, WLLA-TV in Kalamazoo, and Coast to Coast on the Christian Television Network. That's at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Tomorrow we go coast to coast on the Cornerstone Network at 2:30 p.m. Central, World Harvest Television at 6 p.m. Central, and again in Kalamazoo, Michigan on WLLA TV 64. And then Saturday afternoon, 2 more plays, Victory Television Network in Arkansas and around Memphis at 3:30 p.m. and then 6:30 p.m. Central Time in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. You'll find a complete list of channels and times posted at skywatchtv.com. Just look in the top menu bar where it says channels. And please remember our web exclusive content, not only these daily updates, Into the Multiverse with Josh Peck, Sci Friday, our weekly look at science with my best friend and our science editor, Sharon Gilbert, and coming programs, The Supernatural Worldview with Chris Putnam, Teens Rock with Joe Artis, and more, Skywatch Women with Sharon Gilbert as well. All of those available at skywatchtv.com and the Skywatch TV channels on Roku and YouTube. And of course, we also provide a portable version, audio only, the Skywatch TV podcast, updated 7 days a week. You'll find the audio and instructions on how to automatically download that audio to your computer or mobile device posted at skywatchtv.com. Look in that top menu bar where it says podcast. The Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference. We're packing up today, Tuesday, heading out tomorrow. We'll be there and setting up Thursday for when people begin to arrive at the Marriott in Colorado Springs on Friday. So the rest of this week is going to be a bit busy. We will have daily updates for you for the rest of the week and a Sci Friday coming on Friday. But if you are going to be at the Rocky Mountain International Prophecy Conference, please say hello if you spot us. If you're not going, you still have opportunity to sign up for the live video stream. 41 presentations now, 41 presentations from 27 speakers, and all of it coming to you in full HD video. And all of the presentations archived for 6 weeks afterward. So you can go back and watch your favorite ones again. Make sure you get through all 41 of them. And for more information and to sign up, log on to prophecywatchers.com. Our thank you for your support during the month of July. Tools to prepare for the spiritual war in which we find ourselves deployed. 2 books you'll find useful. 50 Things You Need to Know About Satan and Demons, and Empowered by His Presence. We'll send those to you if you're a U.S. resident for your donation of any amount during the month of July while supplies last. For information and to donate, please log on to skywatchtv.com/donate. And of course, we appreciate your help with just your mouse click. If you click share, click like, and those little buttons that you see at the stories at skywatchtv.com, or if you find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course on YouTube, click that subscribe button down here. And we appreciate you doing so. By the way, I should mention, if you were wondering why you weren't getting updates on Sci Friday and Into the Multiverse, it's because we've split those out into separate YouTube channels. You'll find those at the SkyWatch TV YouTube channel, links to those, so you can go there, but you'll need to subscribe to those channels as well to get updated when new programs are posted. And of course, if you want to find me online, here's where I hang out, including my new YouTube channel, where I post interviews that I do separately from SkyWatch TV. If you have comments or questions for us, please send those to dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. Save nearly half off the cover price when you subscribe now to the brand new SkyWatch TV magazine. For a limited time from April 24th through June 24th, 60 days only, a 5-year subscription to SkyWatch TV magazine is just $99. That's more than $75 off the cover price, which is like getting 2 years for free. Exclusive content, articles on prophecy, discovery, and the supernatural from Tom Horn, Chris Putnam, Josh Peck, science updates from Sharon K. Gilbert, geopolitics from yours truly, and guest writers like Pulitzer Prize-nominated journalist Troy Anderson, renowned Bible scholar Dr. Michael Heiser, Pentagon advisor Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, and more. But there is more. As an early subscriber, you'll be the first to get this new book from Defender Publishing. I predict what 12 global experts believe you'll see by 2025. This is a $20 value and includes best-selling authors like Joel Richardson, Mark Biltz, Carl Gallups, Tom Horn, Paul McGuire, and more. Find out what they think about the coming war between ISIS and the Vatican, the future of the Temple Mount and the Ark of the Covenant, a worldwide manifestation of angels, and the coming age of human hybrids. And we'll also add this DVD, The Best of SkyWatch TV 2015, a $25 value, including our most compelling interviews from last year, including Chuck Missler, Steve Quayle, the discussion of the Georgia Guidestones with Chris Pinto, and more. All of this together worth more than $200, yours now for just $99, but only through June 24th. Subscribe now, SkyWatch TV magazine. Call the number on your screen or log on to skywatchtvstore.com.